It's music's biggest night, the Grammys. The best excuse for music fans to argue with each other about who should have won. It was after the Firefighters of LA stepped on the Grammy stage this year to announce Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter as the album of the year. After the extreme and unproportionate online reaction, especially from Billie Eilish fans, it became clear that the Grammys don't make any sense. I've always been of the belief that music awards are unnecessary. I don't think artists should measure their worth on the number of awards they have sitting at home. And how are the awards even given out? Is it critical acclaim or sales? If it's the latter, why even give out awards at all? Where's the suspense? Sales can be looked up easily. It's not like winning a trophy in a sport where yes, the achievement itself will win you the first place. While sports are pretty objective and based on true skill, the matches tend to still be able to stay suspenseful until the very end. There are countless music awards, like the Billboard Awards, the VMAs, the American Music Awards, but none of them could compare to the importance given to the Grammys. They are regarded by many as extremely prestigious and significant, leading to extreme reactions from artists even for a nomination. But what does it take to win one? Is there bias in the voting committee? If we take a look at the Album of the Year winners in the last, let's just say 10 years, it becomes kind of confusing to really deduce what it takes to win the coveted trophy. Most winners are seemingly mainstream music artists. Most of the albums have had decent to huge sales, and the genders tend to swing to women. So I guess there are some factors that stay somewhat consistent. A big one being commercial success. There are some outliers like Beck in 2015 or Jean-Baptiste in 2022, but for the most part commercial success is prioritized over artistic vision. And this is reflected in all the different categories. We saw Sabrina win for pop with her highly successful album Short and Sweet. Kendrick won awards in major categories with his iconic hit Not Like Us, and the astronomically successful Die With a Smile winning Best Pop Duo Performance. What exactly does it take specifically? In 2017, Adele's 25 won over Beyoncé's Lemonade. While yes, 25 broke selling records, Lemonade was also very commercially successful, on top of being critically acclaimed. So why did Adele win? Well, most fans speculate that there's a certain formula or way to appease Grammy voters. More live instruments, more traditionally structured songs, etc. Which is why people think Beyoncé finally got the award with Cowboy Carter. The awarding of mainstream artists obviously isn't completely nonsensical on the business side. The Grammys are, after all, a live TV show. They need to bring in viewers, so they need to nominate them. The awards are categorized in musical genres, from pop to rap to country to electronic and dance. Categories are frequently added, like the Best Melodic Rap Performance or Best Pop Dance Recording category. But even with this, it never seems to quite get to a point of satisfaction, even leading to feuds between artists. And just this year it was highly debated if Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter even made sense to be categorized in the country genre. How could someone whose album only had a good half of country songs win? How many detours from the genre are even allowed? As I mentioned before, I don't think awards are that important. Music artists may become more attractive to labels or potential collaborators, but there's no real inspiring message the awards are sending. We have even seen people who have boycotted them, but only after being snubbed, and even they have come around again. At the end of the day, different things matter to different artists. We've seen Beyoncé talk about cultural impact and legacy, and yes, she does impact the culture decades after decades. Or someone like Taylor Swift, who makes it pretty clear through her actions that sales and awards are the most important to her, and she receives both of these. And there's nothing wrong with either or any priorities that artists have per se. More power to them. So no, awards aren't the end-all be-all, but I gotta say that the idea of a prestigious music award doesn't seem too bad. We have had some very vapid and senseless music over the years, and that's not a bad thing. I've enjoyed a good amount of them. There are different artists for different listeners, and that's fine. And as of this moment, a Grammy win will give any artist and their album more exposure, whether they're mainstream or not. I think it's important to award musical excellence, highlighting people who truly care about their art and create something special, something objectively good. I'm of the belief that there is something as objective reviews. Now, of course, there are gray areas, but for the most part we can recognize which albums have substance, sonic and lyrical cohesion, and true skill put into them and which don't. At the very least, a review should be argued with arguments other than personal taste. Opinions and tastes are valid, of course, but we're talking about awarding someone. I think awards have the ability to push people to truly hone in on their craft. And while musical artists shouldn't make music for the Grammys, there could be a different effort when it comes to motivating them. Currently, the Grammys seem to be a popularity contest. Yeah, they throw in some more unknown or less mainstream artists to make it seem like it's not based on sales, but it's pretty obvious what they're doing. And like I said, if it's about popularity, why even have them at all? We know who's popular, we know who sells the most. It's easy to find out in our digital era. Which brings me to my solution, and an award show that actually makes sense. The Grammys are at the end of the day a competition. I mean, it's in the title: Best Pop Record, Best Country Album, Best Vocal Performance. I personally would love to see a version of the Grammys where there are no categories, like at all, if the artists competed with themselves. And you may be wondering, how would that work? Well, how about albums could get nominated for a Grammy and that's it? Don't make it a competition, but more of a test. Can you pass the test? Are you Grammy worthy? So instead of the tired nominations in categories where most likely the most famous artist of that genre will win, you would need to truly craft an amazing album in order to be nominated. An artist could win multiple awards based on different things like songwriting, production, vocal performance. So an album isn't a best pop album, but more of a 2x Grammy winning album. But how will that be decided? Well, as I said before, I would love to see an award show where the awards are given out by artistry only. Of course, there should be some sort of limit on the fame of the artist, but put the artistry first. And if you think there wouldn't be any more A-listers coming or the viewership would drop, I got news for you. First of all, the viewers are declining anyway because obviously media consumption is evolving, but also because people are tired of the same old biases. And A-listers like SZA, Beyonce or Kendrick Lamar are still crafting fantastic music, so that needs to be recognized. So let them compete with their artistry against lesser knowns, not sales. Because yes, albums can be cohesive or not, they can have a concept or not. Of course, people could read more into things than others, especially fans of the artists. But even then, argue your point. Give us a detailed explanation on why someone wins, and really put it out there, I mean in literal text form. That way, the childish competition between artists and their fandoms would shift to a more productive conversation about musical crafting. If an artist wins, it's not a win over someone else, but a win just for their achievement. Competition does not make sense in music like it does in sports. And if there aren't a lot of good albums in one particular year, then there are less awards given out on Grammys night. There could be a version of Album of the Year, but I'm tired of the same discussions happening every year when the winner of this category is announced. It would make more sense to treat it as a Nobel Prize, for example. How about we give out regular awards for great albums, but truly hold out for, let's say, a Grammy of Excellence, awarding like a true masterpiece. Examples could include Brat or Sawayama or To Pimp a Butterfly, Lemonade, and so on. These projects are well thought out and amazingly engineered and conceptualized. I'm able to argue why they're good, it's not just that I like listening to them. This way they could make this one award truly coveted and prestigious. The questions wouldn't be how did Beyonce win over Billie, but more of a what makes Brat excellence. Then you would have real discussions, even if people won't always come to an agreement. Because at the moment I see a lot of Grammy winners, but even more excellent talents that could use this exposure to get their well-deserved shine.